welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy, and today I'm going to be doing a review that I did previously, but then the end of the video got cut off, and I foolishly deleted the video after I uploaded it to YouTube, and I learned a hard lesson. Never delete anything. But today we're going to be looking at Survive. This is put out by Stronghold Games, plays 2 to 4 people in roughly 45 minutes. So let's take a look and see what you get in the box. Okay, and here we go. This is what you get in the base game of Survive. You're going to get a gorgeous board. Now, keep in mind this is a 30th anniversary edition, and so there are some other editions out there, but this is the 30th anniversary. You get a huge board, typical Stronghold fashion. You get this massive box, and this board actually fills up the entire box. And so it's a huge board, and you get a ton of pieces in this game. You're going to get wooden serpent pieces, wooden whale pieces, wooden shark pieces, wooden boats. You get tokens, these little land tokens that are in multiple levels. So you got the skinny beach tiles, the forest tiles, and then the rock tiles or mountain tiles or whatever. 3 different layers of that. You get a custom die, and then you get 10, I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 meeples of different colors, and so you get 4 different sets of those. And then these meeples on the bottom of each one of these, they have a different number, so this is the value of that meeple if he makes it back to shore. And so each one of those is written on the bottom. I have 0 complaints about the components that come with this game. I love everything about it. I love the wooden tokens. I love the board. The artwork is great. The artwork underneath these tokens is great. I just love the little wooden boats that you put the dudes on, and then you go out on the ocean and you get to push them around. And then I don't know, I just love it. The only complaint, I guess, if I wanted to have a complaint, would be that the meeples are plastic and everything else is wooden. I don't know, they could have made wooden meeples, but who cares? That's not an issue at all. They have bright colors, they look nice. Components A++. So how do you play Survive, and what is it even about? Basically, you're on the island of Atlantis, and it is sinking into the ocean, and your little dudes, your little meeples, have to get on some boats or swim, and they have to make it back to land before a volcano erupts and destroys everybody on the island and in the water. The only people that survive are the people that have made it safely back to shore. There are 4 places on the board that you can make it back to shore, so it doesn't matter where you start. All that matters is if you get them off the boats and onto the land. Any meeples that make it back onto the land, you score points for those. What points do you get? It's written on the bottom of the meeple. So this dude right here is worth 3 points. So if I successfully get him from here to land, then I get 3 points for him. The catch is, once you place a meeple onto the island, and you'll take turns doing that at the beginning of the game, once you place a meeple onto the island, you can no longer look at the value that's written underneath him, and that even includes when your meeple gets eaten or destroyed and removed from the game. You can't even look at it then and see, that was worth 6. That would be a bad one to lose. But you can't even look then. The only time that you can look at your meeples is at the very end of the game when you're doing scores. Whoever gets the most points based off the meeples that make it back to land win the game. So let's talk about a basic round of Survive. I don't want to go through all the particulars of the game because I'd like for this review to be somewhat short, but I want to give you enough of an understanding of how it plays so that you can decide if this game really works for you. So on a round of Survive, you're going to do a couple things. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to move any combination of 3 things, or 3 times, I guess is the way to put it. So you can move 1 meeple 3 places, 1, 2, 3, or I guess it'd be 1, 2, 3. Or you could move 1 guy and then another guy, and then if you had another one on the board, another one. Any combination of those. There's boats that are on the board, so you could put homeboy in here and go 1, 2, 3. Or you could, if the guy was already in the boat, you could go 1, 2, 3, however you want to move. Also costs you a move to move off of a boat onto land. So if you were here, you could go 1, 2, and then move him off, and then he's safely, but that does take a move. Costs you a move to move boats around. It costs you a move to get into a boat. So if you're in the water and you get into a boat, that costs you a move, things like that. So once you use your 3 moves, however you want to do that, then you're going to remove a tile off of the board. And this is going to simulate the island sinking, because you have to remove the beach tiles first, then the forest tiles, then the mountain tiles. And that just makes sense. The ocean would sink, I mean, the ocean's rising, island sinking, whatever, and the beach would go first, then the green, and then the mountain. So what happens when you flip over a tile? Two things. The tokens are either going to be red or green. Really simple. Green means go and do this right away, and then red means stop, and you get to use this later. So what kinds of tiles could you flip over? You could flip over, this one is a boat tile. So if I flip over this green means go, I would instantly put a boat, take a boat and put it out onto the board in that spot. And so then there's a boat there. If there happens to be a meeple on top of that, you remove the tile, he automatically gets put in the boat. Lucky him. This tile right here, a red one, is an anti-shark card. And so you would hold on to this. Red means stop, so you'll use that at the beginning of your next turn if you want. So you got boats, you got whales. So you flip over this tile and a whale is introduced into the game. The only monsters that are out on the game at the beginning are the serpents. All the other monsters are introduced through tiles. So you'll flip over a tile and it'll be a whale. And then whatever tile you flip up, the monster goes in that place. So let's keep looking for tiles. There's a dolphin tile, a boat tile, another whale tile. There's an anti-shark card. There's a whale. My goodness, the whales. There's a shark card. So if you flip this over, a shark would go into this spot. If there happen to be any swimmers in this spot, the shark eats them up, and then that's awful. They're removed from the game. So forgive me for destroying our island so fast. But on your turn, you move 3 spaces, you flip over a tile, and then you roll for the monster. And so you roll a die, and this die has symbols for each one of the monsters that are out here. There's a symbol for the serpent, there's a symbol for the whale, and there's a symbol for the shark. And then the movements for these monsters are pretty simple. The serpent is the most strongest, meaning he can eat people and boats, but he can move the slowest, so he only moves 1 space at a time. That's it, 1 space. The shark is the next strongest. Well, I don't know if that's a good way to say it, but the shark is the next one, and he only eats people. So if there's a boat out in the water, and the shark enters a space where a boat is, nothing happens. But if there's a swimmer in a space with a shark, he gets eaten and removed from the game. Now, the other one is the whale, and the whale can move 3 spaces, and he destroys boats. So anytime a whale enters a space where there's a boat, the boat is destroyed, and any meeples that were on the boat now become swimmers. And swimmers can't move more than 1 space on a turn. They can only go 1 to simulate they're in the water and they're swimming. I digress, but basically that's how a turn order works. Move 3 spaces, remove a tile, roll for a monster. And this continues around until the very last tile is revealed, which is a volcano tile. And that's out here somewhere in one of these mountains. It's going to be the last one that I turn over. Almost. So here's the volcano. Once the volcano tile is flipped over, any meeples that have not made it to land are destroyed. Basically everything that's in the middle of the game is destroyed, and you count up victory points. So where's the fun in this game? The fun is trying to figure out how you're going to get your meeples to shore. Not all of them are going to make it. In fact, most of them are going to die. And it's a sad, sad story, but it's true. Most of your meeples are going to get onto a boat, and then somewhere out in the ocean, a whale is going to come along, knock them into the water, and then some jerk is going to bring along a shark and eat your people. There's ways that you can block people. So if you ever get a whale and a shark, and they're blocking this thing, and you got swimmers, dude is never going to make it through there. And so you could block exits. There's a lot of strategy in moving the serpent around the board. There's special cards that let you do that, where you could say, I get to move the serpent to any unoccupied space, and so you could block a way out, or put the whale right in front of a boat. That way the next player could come along and knock them all into the water. Survive is a brutally vengeful, I can't believe you did that to me kind of game. And I just love it. It's fun. It's funny. It's hysterical when you spend all your time getting all of your most valuable meeples into the boat, and then some dude comes along and puts them all into the water. Like, you're so mad at them, but then on your turn, you're like, I'm coming for you. And I think that's why they really call it Survive. It has nothing to do with your meeples. It has everything to do with the people that you're playing with. You're just trying to survive their attacks and getting all your dudes to shore. That's why I love Survive. I think it's a lot of fun. People that don't normally play board games, their eyes get big when you start showing them this, and they're like, this is not Monopoly, and this is not Sorry, but this is, I got my meeples and I can move them off the board and I get to attack you, and finally when this serpent dude gets free out of the middle and I can finally use him, and haha, I've got my little free move token for the boat. I'm going to move my 3 boats, and then I'm going to get my guy off, and there's combinations of things that you can do. That's why people like this. I played this game with adults. I played this game with teenagers. I played this game with a few kids. Every one of them love it. They like it. It's easy to learn, play around, and you understand how it works. And it's a lot of fun. We actually overplayed this game at Christmas a couple of years ago, and I was like, I'm not playing anymore. But that was because everybody wanted to play it. I put it on the shelf, brought it back out later, and we're still playing it again. That's why I love Survive. And obviously, you can probably tell what kind of rating I'm going to give this, but I'll go through the charade anyways. At the end of our reviews, we like to give a 1 die rating. If we think that you should buy it, just play it, or hate it. Green means go buy this game, add it to your collection. White means you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it or play it because you hate it. I definitely give this one a green. I think this is a game that I'll never get rid of. I've actually bought this game to give away as gifts before. I love it that much. And I really think that you ought to add this to your collection. Consider it, because this is a great game for you to have on the shelf to pull out when people come over. Teach it to them quick. It plays in under 45 minutes. It's a no-brainer for me. Go buy this game. Thanks for watching the Board Game Closet. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our website, boardgamecloset.com. And as always, support your local hobby shop.